Right now, a push for San Francisco to commit to safer streets. 11 years ago, city leaders began an ambitious plan to eliminate traffic deaths. It was called Vision Zero, and it was modeled after a successful plan that saved lives in Sweden. But a recent civil grand jury report found that not only has Vision Zero not worked, the streets have arguably gotten worse, more dangerous. 14. That year, 30 people died on the streets in vehicle-related crashes. That number has ebbed and flowed since then. It's been up, it's been down, but last year, 42 people were killed, and that is the most in almost 2 decades. So far this year, San Francisco has seen 12 traffic deaths. Lauren Toms joins us live from outside San Francisco City Hall, where safety advocates are asking the mayor to come up with a new plan for safer streets. Lauren?
Yeah, Devin, I have in my hand right here a letter from a man who lost his son a few years ago to a traffic incident here in this city. He just met with Mayor Daniel Lurie minutes ago, calling on him to adopt a new plan committing to zero traffic fatalities in San Francisco. Advocates, you can see them behind me, they're calling on the city to adopt that new plan. The progress made so far, they say, is not enough.
It's been 3.5 years since Richard Zeman got the call. His son Andrew had been hit and killed after a driver sped down Franklin Street and collided with a car that hit Andrew on his way to work as an educator for special needs students. It was an accident that Richard says should have been prevented through heightened traffic safety efforts.
Anyone who's lived in the city knows the places that are worst, you know. For Andrew, it was Franklin Street. And you know, these streets aren't mysteries. It's a small city.
But driving down Franklin Street today, not much has changed, despite pleas with the city and years of complaints of speeding drivers. Richard says change isn't optional. He's part of a group of traffic collision victims showing up at City Hall, calling for Mayor Daniel Lurie to adopt a new Vision Zero policy by the end of July and a new traffic safety plan by the end of September. And for Richard, the solution comes down to accountability and implementation.
SFMTA's rationale for not addressing the years of speed complaints down Franklin through the school zone was it wasn't on the high injury network yet, which makes you wonder, what do they need to see in an elementary school zone before they're going to do something?
Launched in 2014, the Vision Zero campaign had a goal of reaching zero traffic fatalities by 2024. But that year was the deadliest on San Francisco roads since 2007, with 42 traffic fatalities. A grand jury report on the program released last week found that although the SFMTA implemented safety measures for pedestrians and cyclists, it wasn't enough to shore up traffic safety. They also pointed to the police department's lack of enforcement of traffic laws. In a statement, the foreperson of the civil grand jury cited a sense of lawlessness on city streets due to the almost complete lack of law enforcement in recent years. Board of Supervisors President Raphael Mandelman says although the police department is already facing critical resource shortages, stories like Andrew's are the reason traffic enforcement should be prioritized.
I think there aren't the resources being committed at the police department to see enforcement. So I think we need more officers doing more enforcement. We need more people and we need more officers in traffic company. And we need to be using technology much more than we are to make up for the lack of officers that we have.
But he says safer streets in San Francisco are possible. SFMTA has implemented traffic safety measures, including speed cameras, no turn on red areas, and protected bike lanes. But still, more can be done. It's a sentiment shared by transportation advocate and editor of Streets blog, Roger Ruddick.
The way forward is very, very clear. It just requires political will. I say just, I realize just that's actually a big thing, political will. But it's been done in American cities, and we can do it here.
He says it's up to the city to commit to traffic changes and points to European cities as success models of zero traffic fatalities. And for Richard, he asks how many incidents will be enough to create real change, meeting that goal of zero.
Now, in a statement to us, SFPD tells us that their #1 priority is keeping people safe and alive here in San Francisco. They say they have significantly increased their traffic enforcement, and they've also increased their citations by 50% in the last year. But these advocates say while that is a good start, this is change they need to see to believe. Devin?
All right, thank you, Lauren. As for why the number of citations plummeted in recent years, the police department told the grand jury that there were a number of reasons. They blamed staffing shortages, but also the pandemic. The department says it explicitly stopped prioritizing traffic enforcement in 2020 to minimize potential COVID-19 transmission between officers and the public.